types of business, because they sell it bandwidth, they call it bandwidth.
Yeah.
Certain signals are designated for like military use, for AT&T, Verizon, etc., the television stations. Now a whole bunch of television airspace is opened up because of with the digital.
Yeah, because you don't need to have
But what they're
bandwidth, so like frequencies.
What Uncle Sam is planning on doing is selling that bandwidth to AT&T.
Verizon. This is give it to them for our song.
Who's selling it to AT&T and Verizon? Who is?
The FC.
How do you sell it?
Back on agenda again. We have a motion on the floor to start an Occupy radio station. Everybody think that's a good idea?
Yes.
And Donald, you can file the paperwork and start us down that road.
I'll start.
I have a question. Who's going to man it? Who's going to run it?
Well, that's a lot of hours. I've run a radio station too.
Yeah, well, yeah. The equipment is relatively cheap. It's the electricity is going to cost us a lot too.
Well, Occupy has no money, so you're going to make a motion.
Well, I think a lot of people like this idea. I think get a lot of people involved. A lot of different groups involved.
No, it's FM. It's broadcast.
Wait, how
It'll be internet too, but
how are we going to get an FM station?
by first getting a license from the FCC.
You can make it AM. What you mean AM?
That's like a lot of money.
AM.
I mean, it'd be cool if we have a radio station.
The equipment itself can be like, maybe like $5,000-6,000. You can get everything you need. Mics, recording, computer, all the different little doodads and recording stuff. And probably the biggest long-term cost is pumping out the signal, the electricity, especially here.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right
These
now.
guys are like
If we're
$1,000 a
going to
month.
be occupied, we got to be solar. We can't be plugging into HELCO.
Maybe we get tired.
Yeah, really.
Maybe we get
You're gonna have to be green, Donald.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool to do too.
Are you sure they wouldn't mind? I think Halco's just went through some
I think
changes.
it also can be a kernel from
Has
which
anybody
everything
dealt with them yet?
within community. Say, well, it's
Is
also
Halco really that bad?
Have a radio
They're
station and
not.
get information out to people. And
Well, okay, so I think it's worth filing paperwork. Because they're either going to say yes or no. And if they say yes, then we have decisions to make. If they say no, then,
a friend of mine, already.
I'm not following all this. I don't get it. I heard one thing was the electricity problem, and the other thing's what? One thing is the problem possibly with electricity, and then what were you talking about just now?
Somebody else
Probably.
needs to be,
Frequencies.
And we can set a
I
lot of
think
stuff up
you don't
to
have to
go
worry about the
auto.
staffing until you get it going.
That's what I'm saying too. File the paperwork and then,
Get the entity started.
get it there.
You said
Well,
there's
I
a
think
problem with
we have
electricity, I heard.
Consensus to
Well, that's
pursue
going to be the
that
biggest
project.
cost, ultimately.
And then as far as cost will be down.
Is there a way to
because
do it
honestly,
solar?
we can't afford to print paper right now. So
Yeah, well,
coming up
it's,
with $5K for a radio
I
station.
can come
is
up
not
with
gonna
stuff
happen.
where, you cut it
Right,
down
right,
to
right.
little things.
Okay, back to the geothermal meeting last
I
Saturday.
have a computer, I have a
It
Xerox
was
machine.
Okay, we need one person talking at a time. Are you guys going to be part of the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, one person talking at a time.
okay. We got to get back to the geothermal meeting in Saturday. Do we know the date for the next one?
We
yet?
don't know the date
Okay.
yet, but we're going to set the date this week sometime. Got a lot of email addresses. I need help. If there's anybody that has some time to go through, I have the sign-in sheet, and I can't read the email addresses on a lot of. I had 2 email address things. One of them was pretty good. I got most of them. The sign-in sheet, I can't really read the email addresses very well, but there's phone numbers there. I need somebody to call the ones that we can't read and have them tell us what it says. What the fucking.
that happens
so I
to
can
me
put
too.
'em on the list.
Oh, no.
So anyway, but not only that, I need help with other stuff too. Like I'm working on this all day, every day, and I'm not even working at my job right now.
I'll help you promote it.
I just need help with research, and stuff like that, and getting out emails.
Well, if you tell us what you're researching, if you tell everybody what you're researching,
Well,
they can
I
all try
need
it.
a position paper on geothermal, and I'm the guy that has the ideas on that, but I just don't have time to keep putting it.
So if everybody makes a
Okay.
note of what
And
is,
I'm working on a list of questions that, we need a list of questions, you know, what do we want to know? What do we want answers to? And I have some already. That kind of stuff. And there's so much of it that I tell you, I literally stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning the other night working on it. And last night I was up till 2. And I was up till 2:30 in the morning last night. And you know, I just can't do it all. So, you know, but I'm going to hang in there. I'm not bitching or moaning or complaining, but I can't get it all done.
Well,
So I'm looking for help.
I wonder if it would be a good idea for you to form like a little subgroup out of your great big, you know,
Well, I'm looking in the Puna community for that outside of Occupy, but I'm just putting it out there. And Carrie needs help too. I can just tell you guys that she is does a lot. She does a lot, and you know, and plus she raises her family and all that stuff.
It does all damn shit too.
God, what are those kids gonna be like?
Oh my.
already. Well, and I can help you with the email list because I've already got this massive email list thing going on. So that
Well, I have it online, but then you'd have to print it out. But I also have a hard copy if you want the hard copy.
hard copy might be easier for me, and I'll go through what I can and then start
What I
cleaning
can
it
do
up.
is probably just call you and give you the phone numbers over the phone, or I could type them in. But then I might as well just do it.
I know. That's the thing. By the time you get it organized, you can be done.
All right. Well, next time I see you, I'm going to bring you the hard copy.
Yeah. Oh gosh, when are we gonna see you again? It's gonna be a while.
Monday.
Monday? What's Monday?
Pele Defense Fund.
All right. I'm gonna write it down.
The statue is here. The statue's here. Bernard is at the mall right now, and I have to bring my forklift to the mall yesterday to take Bernard off.
No kidding.
I do. Yeah,
Oh my
because
goodness.
he's so big. Bernard is the Hawaiian in bondage statue that's going to be in the mall for Pele Defense Fund. So Bernard is.
His name's Bernard, the
With a
Hawaiian.
forklift.
Well, I get it off the trailer with the forklift onto a pallet jack. Well, the Papu Mau Gallery is in there, and that's Pele Defense Fund right in the mall. Have you ever seen that art gallery? Anyway, do you guys know what Bernard is? Bernard was this big Hawaiian guy. He's like 6'6", and he was with Pele Defense Fund. And I can't really bend good, but they got it.
Oh, he's a real
down like
person?
this on the ground. It's a real person, and they made a plaster cast of him like that. They covered him with plaster with straws in his nose and all this shit. And then I don't know how they got the damn thing off him, but they got the plaster off him. Then they took it with a helicopter and they flew it out to the lava flow and they filled it up with lava. So it's a lava statue of Bernard.
Wow.
And I mean, really came out well. Then they wrap him in chains and he's chained to the ground, and they cover him with lays and all
That's
this
what
stuff.
I want to see, is like the arms.
It's gonna be.
That sounds cool.
It's gonna be in there tomorrow. We're gonna move it.
Sounds
in there.
heavy.
It's really cool. Laimana Pelton did the sculpture. He's really talented. Came out really good.
Well, and okay, so at PDF, give me the email list, and this may be something too that we should
ask
work
them for
really
that,
closely
too.
with them on, because they have an email list too, you know.
Yep.
And so we should coordinate.
I didn't send that to you. I gotta send that to you.
Yeah?
before I lose it. Yeah, I already talked to her about that, but also we need to talk. I want to talk to them about getting some help too, because I just can't keep up.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, that's kind of their kuleana, and
Well, and they might have more people to help, but they might not either. They have their own. They've got the bones. They got all these other things. They're doing Hawaiian burials. They're doing all these other issues.
well, all right, cool. Okay, anything else about
Okay, so if
that meeting?
if there's a way to find people to research the geothermal research project, that's, get the word out.
I would love to
Post
maybe
it.
have him call me
Post
because he
it.
knows a
Well,
lot
what we
about
really need is
geothermal already.
writers.
He
You know, people
was
that
with us on it the last
write
time.
legibly and articulately.
I am
Is he-
so
is he
over my
drinking
head
and
with,
stuff?
well, just keep, I'll keep writing this, what do you need to write about? If there's
Well, have
something
him give me a
simple.
call.
I'm over my head with my own shit.
I know, that's why we don't ever write anything.
Well, send me some, what do you need
to
to
write?
research? Need to write. I can write one for us too.
We really need some handouts, we need event announcements, we need
I'm
to
sorry,
do
but this is
everything.
too much.
Event
Honestly.
announcements,
Yeah,
No, I want to
Send
hear
me
what you
some.
have to say, but I can't, we've got everybody.
Okay, let's move on to the next agenda.
But
then.
wait a minute, we need
I'm
to finish
sorry.
here, because you guys are having one meeting and we're having another meeting, and I can't keep up with 2 meetings.
Okay.
So,
I thought you were chatting amongst yourselves.
well, I actually wanted to hear what you guys were saying, but I had 2 people going and talking
Okay,
at the
so-
same time.
Well, I was
That's
out.
what you guys were saying.
I just want to have one person talk at one time.
I was offering to do some of the writing, some of the posters. I can do. I like doing posters. They're fun.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Well,
I don't know,
what I
but-
did before.
Yep.
so what we need is a fact sheet. We need a geothermal fact sheet. It's not clean, it's not renewable, it's not safe. What's the other one? Clean, renewable, and
Trying to write down the reasons.
not
okay.
cheap.
Well, yeah, send me the, whatever you got.
Oh, that's the thing. There's boatloads of information.
Not renewable. No, but he's breaking it down to the
Boatloads.
simple.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not safe.
we need you on the.
And you need to prove each of those things.
All right, let's come back to what we actually need exactly.
Because I want to still hear what he was saying after.
Yeah, was it
I don't
same
know what he
topic
was
or
saying. I have no idea because I couldn't hear it.
what was it?
What were you saying?
Earthquakes from drilling operations.
Okay, that's a weird situation because we don't have any proof that the way they're doing it here is causing earthquakes here. And so in order to do that, what we need is a baseline study of what kind of earthquake were like 20 years or 30 years or whatever, as much as we can prior to when they started re-injecting. And then,
That's going to take a research project.
okay, so without that, we can't really say that because we don't know it.
But you
And I don't want to say anything that we don't know.
Stick with stuff that you may have.
In other
suspicions
places, in other places we can say it. It's been proved in other places. But I started talking about that, and Nelson Ho, who was at the meeting, said that I better be careful talking about that because that's not been proved here.
I agree. It's not been proved that any of their activities down there are causing any of
So
that
like you say,
stuff.
research it.
So, well, it'd be a comparative analysis is what it would be, and
All right, so
that
this
would
is
be
well.
intense.
Yeah, that takes.
So that's the kind of thing. I
research.
guess it just goes on the list of what do we need. We need somebody that can, and it's not that hard. You can probably do it online. I don't think you have to be a research expert to find that information. You just have to have the time to do it. To spend 2 or 3 hours or more even to look up the USGS earthquake data for the area, lower east rift zone, or just I guarantee it's online. And if I had time, I could do it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
It's on the USGA volcano website.
And then you have to look at. Then you have to do the other.
USGS.
Well, they have a continuous record of all movement.
Right, but what you got to do is then you have to. So you got to find the record. Then you have to find when PGV started to re-inject. Then you have to look at it, compare it before and after, and that's all you really have to do. And then, I would be willing to bet it's going to show the increased earthquake activity, but I can't. We don't know that.
But then you can't.
But then you still have to prove causative effect. I think it's going to be many hours down the toilet, to be honest with you. And then you still have an independent
But the
analysis
other
done
thing,
by a guy.
so here's our
That-
questions. What do we want
So
to
they-
ask for? Wait. Here's our questions. What do we want to ask for? We want to ask for water analysis. We want to find out if they're polluting the water. So, because they're going to ask us at some point, what do you guys want? And we need to start putting together when they ask us that, we want this, we should have it ready. One of the things we want is any information on the baseline water analysis before they started re-injection, and we want study done or samples taken of the water now. And we want to look for, and we also, the other thing we want is we want to know what chemicals they're re-injecting, because I seen a truckload of chemicals going in there yesterday to carry, huge semi-truck with bags and bags and bags, and it was probably drilling mud because they're drilling, but I know they're putting chemicals in there because the pipes plug up with silica. The plant got down to 5 megawatts in 2002 because all of the plumbing plugged up with silica, all the wells, everything, and so they were trying to figure out what the hell they could do with it. And what they did was they found a chemical that would dissolve the silica. So now they inject some kind of chemical into the system, and whatever that chemical is goes into the water table too, or is it being everything that? And so we want to know what chemicals they're using and how much. I want to see the invoices. How much are they buying and what are they buying? I think so. Maybe that. That might be too
You're not
much.
gonna get invoices, but
No, we'll get invoices
Well,
when
no,
we get
no,
into
but-
court.
well, you could subpoena
But the
invoices.
problem
yeah.
is that,
And if they want to keep us,
But
they're
the-
going to want to placate us at some point when we start doing civil disobedience and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when they're going to ask us what we want, and we need to be, and they can say no, and then we can say, well, fuck
It's,
you.
it's already
Yeah.
the
always
thing
good to
is,
know what you want in
getting
the
on
first
the-
place going into something.
getting on the drilling mud and what they're actually injecting into the ground,
Bet night is the drilling.
it's all proprietary information. And in fact, Congress did pass a law saying, because it is proprietary information, the fracking companies, except all the drilling companies, do not have to release what is in the drilling mud one, or what there are.
That's fine,
injecting
that,
into
I
it.
don't care if they say
to
that, because then we
fraction.
can just say that they're being secret and because it's a horrible, terrible thing.
Right.
And, it's so dangerous, and so
Yeah,
if
well,
there's nothing wrong with it, why won't they tell us?
It's a corporation, it's a person, and so it has privacy.
So there you can raise that point, at least raise that point.
And that's been,
I still
They
think
have
we need to
sued
ask for it. We need to
companies
ask.
We
for
can
it.
ask, they can, yeah, doesn't hurt to ask, they can say no, but
And
we
the
can
truth
ask.
is-
And what about water monitoring, but what about air monitoring? Because that's something
They
we,
have air monitors out.
No, but they don't have them in the right
but
place.
they don't have them in the
Oh,
right place.
okay.
That's already
Picture
been
of
brought
standing
Is that
up.
what we right now?
Okay,
But now, on the,
This world's
oh,
over.
man, I was fucking-
just go, just keep going.
I'm sorry.
5,000 per monitor.
Do you happen to see what kind of truck brought those chemicals in?
it was just a big, I know what I was gonna say. I know some people that work there, so I'm gonna ask them what the chemicals are.
Of course, if you can get pictures or video of them, if
It
they're
was a green
chemicals, they're
truck,
supposed to
and
be
it was a flat
tagged.
rack, you know what the
yeah, on
flat
the
rack
side, if
is?
it's got
You know
flames
what
on it or
contains,
something,
right?
flammable stuff.
The ones that just have 4 posts but no sides on
yeah.
it. There was a flat rack full, and I'm pretty sure that was drilling mud. It looks like some bags of cement. They
Yeah.
had a whole fucking semi-truck full of it going in there yesterday. I bet if you sat in front of that truck and some of that plant for a week with the camera, you could get pictures of all kinds of shit going in and out of there.
Yeah.
Especially if they didn't see you. Once they see you, they'll reroute everything or they'll stop it. But there's
Would it be worth trying to set up some kind of video capture?
it would be great, yeah. I think so.
Like, you could almost get like an old cell phone and just program it to shoot a picture every hour or something.
Got to remember, it is an Israeli company, so they probably have some pretty good security. I heard they have pretty good security, so they probably have their own camera watching in front of that road.
Oh, for sure, they've got
Yeah,
surveillance
we can
set
do it
up.
at night though. There's Kendra.
Oh, maybe she's here for the meeting.
No, it's her birthday.
Oh, it is?
It's her birthday?
Yeah.
My
Aw.
birthday just passed. I got a whole bunch of Facebook happy birthdays.
Okay.
Nobody sent any money though.
Facebook money.
Just Facebook, happy birthday. I got like a dozen of them.
So you said if you were to try to get the invoices of chemicals or some kind of, what did you say,
Proprietary means they
It's
own that
private. It's privately
information,
owned.
and they don't have to tell you.
So what's the next thing?
So this would be kind of covering more than just the geothermal issue. It would also be
Yeah, the fact.
educating people on how the corporate personhood thing works, where they're allowed to go over the Freedom of Information Act somehow or something? How's that
No,
work?
if it's a corporation, FOI doesn't.
No, you
Play.
freedom of information. You could probably go for freedom, but that takes a whole process of getting there. And
All right, well, what's on the agenda?
Going to court.
Okay, next thing. There was 2 movie nights last week. Anybody go?
No.
Me neither.
Sorry.
My mom did the Monday one. It was her idea to pitch that movie.
I went to the beach
Yeah,
one.
how'd it go? I wondered.
She said it went good. It went long. There was a lot of people and a lot of question and answer.
Which one was it about?
The bees.
I went to that one.
Oh,
I was hoping.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, seen
you
that.
went to?
Yeah, that
Well,
was
give us
good.
a report. How'd it go?
It was good. It was nice. It was very informative. And it seems that this massive die-off of bees is from systemic. It seems that's what the biggest cause was. Is from systemic pesticides put out by Bayer.
Yeah.
Baby aspirin.
So you're telling me all you'd have to do is, I'm sorry, I'm still back on you. I don't get it.
Write a note down. We'll talk about it later.
I went to the night market on Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't go this week. I'm sorry because, did you see Clark?
Yes. I saw him selling plants.
Yeah.
He had talked to me though, and I wasn't sure it was him. He looked a little bit clean shaven. I was like,
Yeah, he's trying to be cleaned up to someone.
Kinda not.
I'm sorry, you know what, they were out getting the statue that night, but we'll be there next week. That was fun though, wasn't it?
That's cool.
Huh?
There's a lot of people.
Well, how's the music?
Good. It was like a funky Hawaiian.
Where was it?
Uncle Robert's.
Man, that thing rocked. It was
What, in Pahoa?
Yeah.
in Kalapana. It's in Kalapana. So go ahead, let's hear about it.
It was cool. There was like probably 300 people.
Oh, that's the sounds like it was a lot slower. Yeah, it was kind of slow.
I guess it was pretty slow according to my friend that was there. There's still a lot of people. It's kind of like a mix between the Vancouver market and the Hilo market. It's got like some touristy stuff.
Way more funky though, isn't it?
But it's nighttime, so it's way more funky.
And it wasn't. There's a bar, right? Everybody's drinking and smoking dope. But was it like being in a foreign country? What do you think? Because to me, I felt like I was in Mexico or something. But it's Hawaii.
Yeah, it's a little Mexican market. You're like,
It's fun. I had a blast. I was gonna go Tagger and then that because Pele Defense one wasn't gonna be there, and I worked all day. I decided not to go, but I'll be there next week.
And also on Wednesdays, just a quick note for the calendar, there is a FiredogLake conference call every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and they're pretty good.
Is that your write-up? That was good, right?
At 2 p.m.?
FiredogLake.
It's right in the middle of work.
I know.
That's my shit.
But they probably do it, it's probably late enough for them, so everybody's out of work.
It's East Coast, I know.
Yeah, East Coast, yeah.
And it used to be at 3 o'clock. Now they're at 2. So they work perfect for me because my kids aren't home from school yet, so I can actually hear what's going on. After that, it gets sketchy. But I wanted to mention that. I'm not sure we've ever officially mentioned that and put it on the calendar, but we should. They're almost always Occupy related. Oh, they are, right? They have a lot of conference calls. This one's the Occupy.
But you saw Charles did that article. It was pretty good.
Yes, and Charles did it. Let's update us on that since we're on it.
What about it?
You wrote an article about what?
I saw something about
Oh, the geothermal. Basically saying that Occupy Hilo is, making some noise with, how to getting on their ass.
It was good. It was a good write-up. I thought he did a great job.
Is that the FiredogLake one?
But he had a video, and then he had a write-up under it, and that went all over the United States.
Yep, it's national. So,
National, we're
hoorah. Thank you, Charles, for the coverage.
That's the leveraging of the internet. It's still happening,
Oh, you should see the county guys squirm when she shows up now because she's like, "You mind if I put you out on live? What do you call it? Live stream you?"
Oh no, I don't ask. I just start. Usually.
Sit there with her.
They're like,
At least there's no law to stop it yet.
she said after we left the last one, are we going to go to that meeting?
Well, I mean, that's just like prevented from happening.
Tuesday meeting.
The EAC.
Yeah,
It's
that's
even
Thursday the
scarier.
26th. Hell yeah, it's
We
on the
didn't talk
calendar.
about it yet, though.
No, we didn't get there yet.
Okay, because I want to talk about what happened.
Well, let's talk now because that's still kind of energy. Yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday we went to the EAC, which is
Wait, no, Tuesday was county council with HELCO and IDG.
We should do that first.
Okay, let's talk about that first. Tuesday, county
that
council.
rocked. The county council rocked. And we shook those guys up. They were not happy.
which guys.
HELCO and IDG.
Who's IDG?
Is that? It's hard to understand about the video.
Company or group.
Indigenous Development Group. It's Mililani Trask Group. They're
Hawaiian Geothermal.
Hawaiian Geothermal. They promote it. They love it. They're writing bills about it.
And they were up there saying, Pele Defense this, and Pele Defense. They had our picture. They had our fucking pictures up there on the fucking wall of us getting arrested, and they're like acting like they're us up there because they didn't know Polly was going to be there. And then afterwards, oh my goodness! If you didn't see the video, you got to watch the video.
So it was a dog and pony show. We don't know why they announced it, but all of a sudden on Thursday night I saw on the Twitter that the Hawaii County Council was going to be convening Tuesday morning for a 45-minute presentation, PowerPoint presentation from Jay Ignacio. Okay, the head honcho at HELCO. After that, the next one was Pat Brandt from IDG on geothermal and reports in the media lately. Okay, so that's what the meeting was about. First they took public testimony. They tried to do the whole public speaks first and then we're going to tell you what's going on thing. But they realized that was mean. So they took some public testimony.
No, they didn't realize that. I went up there and asked them.
Yeah, and that was awesome. And it changed it. So what they did was anybody that wanted to speak now can, but then anybody else that wanted to wait till after the presentation, which most folks did, went. And then HELCO did their dog and pony show. and explained how important the grid is and what we need to do to support it, basically. Yeah.
But they put up some good information that we were able to use against them, like this solar chart showing how much people are going onto solar, and it's like a graph that just goes like that.
That's positive stuff.
Yeah.
Proactive stuff.
Well, but
Real good
But
stuff.
what's happening with that is we're getting charged for that
That's what
electricity.
he was saying. Well, no, what they were saying was we can't take any more solar. We can't take no more solar, please.
Good, let's shut it down then.
Well, that's kind of.
that testifies.
Oh, you got.
We don't need you.
She framed it a little bit differently. She said, "Screw them."
If you want the drug addict to have his drugs, you gotta let the rich man have his money. I mean, it's their addiction. Find a way for them to make some money.
Okay, but
Find a way for them to make some money out of it.
we gotta stay on track.
Screw them, like you said. They make
If
millions
you
of dollars.
can, you have the
They got
option
money
to
in
screw
ton of
them.
money.
Do you have the
You
option?
know what? I tell you what. I'm going to say this one more time. One person speaks at a time. The next time people start talking like that, I'm going to fucking.
Good.
No, I'm going to fucking start making some fucking rules. I'm going to kick you out of here, or we're going to move the
How
meeting
you
somewhere
gonna
else
do that?
because we're going to go
I'm never
somewhere
gonna Get
else.
up and follow you. You've been an asshole to me ever since I met you. You know that?
Yeah, well,
And all your
shut
shit about Israel and all that. Get the fuck out of here yourself.
Gwen,
I'll see you later.
You're
No, you know what?
anti-Semite.
Well, you know,
You've been fucking with me ever since I met you, bitch.
fucking bitch. That's
You're a
what I am.
bitch.
You're a fucking bitch. I'll tell
You've
you
been
what, you
messing with
guys-
me ever
I'll tell you
since
what,
I
guys,
met you.
If
And
we
nobody-
can't have a fucking meeting where we can actually run it without